Joe Garma. You know, on Garma Health, my website, I write a lot about hormone optimization for the simple reason that if you don't have your hormones functioning properly, there's no chance you can live a long, vital, and strong life. Today's topic is adrenals. Adrenals is one hormone that at one time or another people in the industrialized world will face fatigue in their adrenal function. About 80%, some medical experts say, 80% of the population will experience adrenal fatigue. So how do you know if you have it? Sometimes stress is so common that you don't even know that you have adrenal fatigue. It used to be that stress came and went very quickly. Adrenals produce cortisol. Cortisol is the stress hormone. It would flood the system, allow you to do the fight or flight. There's that tiger on the hill. You either have to fight the tiger or run from the tiger. It's advisable that you run, but in either case, it's going to be over quickly. And then cortisol subsides and you get back to your daily life. Today's world, things are hectic, and they're hectic for a sustained period of time. And when you have cortisol affecting your adrenals for a sustained period of time, it can even affect your chromosome, level. It can affect proper cell replication. It can also affect your metabolic system. It can primarily affect or directly affect how well your thyroid, another hormone, is functioning. So understanding adrenal health is extremely important, and I wrote recently about 4 at-home tests you can do, and today I'm going to show them to you applied to myself. I have no idea if I will fail or succeed, so stay tuned. I know, this seems goofy, but really this is the first test. The first test is called an iris contraction test, but really what's getting smaller and larger is the pupil in relationship to light. And so I needed a dark place, this little laundry area, a dark place so my pupil could get larger, right? Because it's looking for light, so it gets larger, and then flash a light on it to watch it get smaller. And the test sees how fast it responds to the light. It responds immediately to the light, then it's an indication that your adrenals are okay. So this is one of 4 tests. So let's begin this first one. So that seemed to work pretty good. I hope you were able to see that my pupil did contract very quickly once the light hit it. It was expanded in the dark and it reacted very quickly to the light. So I think I passed that first test for adrenal function. So now on to test number 2. Test number 2 for adrenal fatigue is this blood pressure test. My sister, who is manning the video, kindly allowed me to use her cuff. You line it up so that it's over your artery here in your arm. You get it somewhat snug. Now the idea behind the test is you take your blood pressure while you're lying down. In fact, you rest for about 5 minutes before you even try, because you want to be very calm for test number 1, blood pressure. And you're also supposed to be fairly hydrated, so it's recommended that 20 minutes, half an hour before this test that you drink at least 8 ounces of water, which I did. What the test does is to show the difference between what your blood pressure is, the systolic number, the number on the top, which is a blood measures pressure, what that number is when you're laying down, and then immediately you take it up, the blood pressure test again when you stand up, and it should rise. The systolic number should rise at least 6 points. Better if it's 10 or more points. If it stays the same or if it drops, it's an indication that you might have some adrenal fatigue. So let's begin. I'm going to lay down and get this thing going. Okay, it's been 5 minutes. I've been resting as this test requires so that I can take the resting blood pressure test, get that number, and then we'll do the standing up number. So I press the machine on, and it's creating pressure in this cuff right here, and soon it will give a systolic and diastolic number. We're interested in the systolic number to compare that between resting and standing. Okay, let's get up and do it again. Let's see what happens. So the first time it was 135, now let's see what it was. Okay, good. Well, maybe not good. $145. Okay, so that's good. As I said, the test asks that it goes up between 6 and 10. 10 is a good number. The systolic number went up 10 points from resting to standing. So test number 2, I declare that I passed. On to test number 3. Okay, this is the third of the 4 tests, and this was developed by a French physician in the early 1900s. His name was Émile Sargent, perhaps is how you pronounce it. And it's this test where you take the back part of a ballpoint pen, you firmly press it around 6 inches on your abdomen, and then you see how long that white line that's made stays white. What should happen if your adrenals are working for you accurately or effectively is that that white line from this indentation, this mark, should disappear rather quickly. If it stays for a couple of minutes or even widens, then it's an indication of some issue with the adrenals, although this test, the literature says, is not quite as accurate as the other 2 that we took. So, excuse my belly, but here we go. So we'll just go like that, very firm, about 6 inches. I don't know what you're seeing, but it doesn't look like any white line is there. I don't know.
It went away.
I'm going to give it to myself. 3 tests, 3 passes. Okay, now to the 4th and final test for adrenal health, and it's a temperature test. Details are on the link below this if you're watching this on YouTube, or below this if you're watching it on garmaonhealth.com. But it involves taking a thermometer. The recommendation is that you use those type of old-time thermometers that you shake down. They have them in non-mercury. The active ingredient is non-mercury. But you shake it down. This is digital. You hold it 45-degree angle under your arm. You need to leave it there for 10 minutes if it's not digital. It's going to give you a more accurate reading of your basal body temperature. And you do it 3 times in one day and 3 times in the second day. You take the average of each of those 2 days, and the difference between those averages, those 2-day averages, can't be more than 0.2 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay? That's it. I don't have the shakedown thing, and I'm not able to demonstrate if I can pass or not this test. I've been using this thermometer to test thyroid. That's a whole other issue. If you search on garmaonhealth.com for thyroid, you can read about some of the stuff I've been writing about with respect to the thyroid. It's really important that you know about your adrenals before you try to solve your thyroid issue, because if you try to solve your thyroid issue, if your adrenals are fatigued or aren't functioning properly, it puts added burden on them, the literature says. So that's it. We've done 4 tests. You might try them at home. The fuller instructions is on my blog, and try to see how modern society is affecting you. This is Joe Garma, over and out.